Welcome back. This is the 8th module of the Superheroes Entertainment course. This is Comedy, Satires and Send-Ups. This is Lesson 8.1, the first for this module. This module has two lessons, 8.1, Putting the Comic in Comic Books, and 8.2, The Ridiculousness of Superheroes. By the end of this lesson, you should have a good understanding of the forgotten comic elements in early superheroes. The comic superhero. This is where I really wish DC would let me show you some images. The early Superman cracked a lot of jokes. Some of these were lame, but the appeal of Superman in part was the humour. In the very first published Superman story in Action Comics 1, June 1938, there is a humorous exchange between Superman and the butler of a governor Superman is trying to reach. Confronted by a steel door, Superman is told by the governor's butler, "Try and knock this door down," as he had earlier broken down the front door of the governor's mansion. When he has duly removed the steel door from its hinges and the butler looks on amazed, Superman dryly says, "It was your idea." In Action Comics 2, July 1938, Superman rescues Lois Lane from a firing squad. His line in doing so is, "Shoot and be hanged," a dark gallows humour. When he leaps a high wall, the guards shout, "Stop!" and "You can't do this. It's impossible." Superman's reply is, "Hey, thanks for letting me know." Well, he didn't say the hey. Much of the early Superman contained sarcastic humour in this vein. Jerry Siegel's original version of Superman took great delight in his powers. He liked to use them, and he liked to show off a little, and he found it funny how stunned criminals and others were at the magnitude of his power. In a sense, it seems to me that a being of such great strength could only be humanized and made attractive in this early version by making him a bit of a wiseacre or a jokester. Key point 1. The early Superman comic books had a comic element to them and were not over-serious. Captain Marvel. Superman's earliest comic book superhero rival from another company, the original Captain Marvel, also offered humorous jibes while fighting. In Captain Marvel Adventures #1 from March 1941, the Captain says while fighting opponents, "Oh, you all want to play, eh? You'd better eat some more vitamins before you tackle me." And in Captain Marvel Adventures #2, summer 1941, when shrunk to minuscule size and attacked by a bug, whose jaws he effortlessly rips apart, the Captain says, "Just like breaking a wishbone at Thanksgiving." He was a humorous chap. The Amazing Spider-Man. This sort of humorous wordplay also cropped up in Marvel's comics in the 1960s. So in Amazing Spider-Man #1, March 1963, when Spider-Man decides to visit the Fantastic Four's headquarters and join up as a member, perhaps the Fantastic Five, he climbs the building, setting off a security alarm. The Human Torch sarcastically wonders, why didn't he phone for an appointment like everyone else? Spider-Man then, in the inevitable fight that breaks out, calls the thing gruesome, and so goes the banter in their fight. Key point 2. Humour was not the main stock in trade of superhero comic books, but it was an important part of many of them. The comic in comic books comes from comic strips, and the comic in comic strips was because of the humour. This lesson has two key points. Go back over your notes and the video of the lesson to make sure you have noted these points. Next up, Lesson 8.2, The Ridiculousness of Superheroes.